Hello gamers from around the world. This is Archimedes, the video game enthusiast from Germany, with a video about the future of the Xbox Game Studios. The last week was filled with the talk about Bethesda joining the Xbox Game Studios. The long debate about exclusivity was shut down by Phil Spencer when he confirmed that the acquisition was about getting exclusive content into the Xbox ecosystem. But don't worry, this video is not about Bethesda joining Xbox or the exclusive discussion. After the recent event and some interviews, we have a pretty good idea now how Xbox wants to approach the Xbox Series X and S generation, and I want to use this video and talk about what is the plan for the Xbox Game Studios in this generation that has only just begun. We will talk of course about the games coming from the Xbox Game Studios, but we will also talk about their technology and resources that they have now in their hands and other things that the future will hold for Xbox. But before we go through all of that, I want to ask you for a favor. If you watch this video and end up enjoying yourself, then please consider to hit the like and subscribe button and maybe even turn on the notification bell to not miss out on future content. This doesn't cost you anything, but it helps my channel more than you think, and I would really appreciate your support. And now, with no further ado, let's talk about the future of the Xbox Game Studios. The Xbox Roundtable event last week was an incredible discussion with a lot of production value that touched on so much more than the big discussion about the exclusivity of the upcoming Bethesda games. It really was an event full with excitement for the years ahead, for the generation that has only begun and has the potential to become Xbox's strongest generation yet. And there are multiple reasons for that. One is of course the hardware of the new consoles themselves. The Xbox Series X and S are incredibly well balanced consoles, and especially the Xbox Series X is on the level of hardware performance from a high-end PC right now, which is truly special for a $500 or Euro console. It packs so many hardware features that I have talked previously here on my channel, and I don't want to go into that again in this video, but there are actually a couple of features that will enable game developers to build worlds like we have never experienced them before, and that was the promise from Microsoft going into this generation. They have announced, even before the Bethesda acquisition, a ton of first-party games coming from their 15 Xbox studios prior to the acquisition. Yes, even before Bethesda, we never had such a huge Xbox first-party content portfolio coming. So let's have a look here. They announced games like Hellblade 2, the third-person action-adventure / horror game from Ninja Theory, Halo Infinite, the new entry of Microsoft's biggest franchise coming this fall, a reboot of Fable, an RPG that was beloved during the 360 era from so many gamers, Avowed from Obsidian Entertainment, a first-person RPG in the vein of Skyrim from the makers of the incredible Outer Worlds of Fallout New Vegas, State of Decay 3, the first entry of the zombie survival game under the Xbox umbrella from Undead Labs, of course the new Forza Motorsport coming from Turn 10, the masters of racing games, Perfect Dark, a reboot from the newly founded quadruple A studio The Initiative, and I could continue. But as you are aware, Xbox already had pre-Bethesda a ton of games in the making exclusively for the Xbox ecosystem, so obviously the Xbox Game Studios have put themselves out there to deliver not only a ton of games, but a bunch of diverse games. They have shooters in their portfolio, action adventures, a lot of RPGs, racing games, platformers, survival games, strategy games, and so on. So the idea of the Xbox Game Studios was from the very beginning not just to build a great library of first-party content, but also to deliver something for every gamer. And this strategy really became obvious when they talked last week about their newly acquired Bethesda studios and highlighted some of those incredible talents that will now bring games like Starfield, The Elder Scrolls 6, Doom, Wolfenstein, the recently announced Indiana Jones game, and so on to the Xbox library. But the whole strategy from the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, and head of Xbox Game Studios, Matt Booty, was not just to build a portfolio of diverse and creative studios, but also to build an industry-leading technology pool for developers. They already had in their studio roster incredible talents like the Coalition, who are arguably the best studio when it comes to the Unreal Engine. They also had amazing talent with smaller studios like Ninja Theory, who did develop the incredible Hellblade with a team of only around about 20 people. This talented studio recently, for instance, has shown off their in-house developed technology for delivering photorealistic graphics and an incredible material scanner which can be used with the Unreal Engine. And here's the thing, the way how Microsoft has set up the Xbox Game Studio roster is that all those studios can take advantage of the technology of the respective other studios. They share technologies, ideas, concepts, accept and provide help in solving problems. That's for instance the reason why many of the Xbox Game Studios are using the Unreal Engine, because then they can take advantage of the experience across the entire studio portfolio. And during the roundtable last week, it became really obvious that this was one of the major ideas behind the acquisition of Bethesda, to bring knowledge and technology to the Bethesda studios, but also from the Bethesda studios into the already existing Xbox Game Studio portfolio. And this is something really exciting for us gamers, because studios like id Software bring one of the most performant game engines into the Xbox realm, the id Engine that powers games like Doom and Wolfenstein. But don't just listen to me, let us have a listen to the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, and his opinion about sharing technology.
But you can see it in Doom Eternal. There's no studio that sweats every pixel on screen, has every frame the way id does. Like, it's just so clear.
It's like you spend time with them.
Spend time with the games and it just pops. Like it's so clear. And then when you think about their capability, and I think about them collaborating and working and talking with the Coalition and 343 and just like the first-person shooter, third-person shooter space that we have, the studios that are there, I think just kind of an amazing capability. The other thing I get really excited about with id that we haven't really talked a lot about is the future of id Tech. And what could that mean inside of Xbox? Obviously, we've got a ton of studios doing a bunch of different work. I love the way Marty talked about how they've collaborated with other Bethesda studios on id Tech. And I just think about that to the next level. Like, what can we do inside of our organization with id Tech, which is one of the world's best game engines out there, and just make it a tool that so many developers can use to realize their vision.
So there you have it. He knows that the id Engine is one of the most powerful tools out there in the gaming world, and he wants to see how he can make that engine available as a tool to all the Xbox Game Studios, including studios like 343, makers of Halo, or the Coalition, makers of Gears. And even if they won't use that particular engine, there is a ton of knowledge in the new acquired Xbox studios that are now available to all developers in the Xbox roster. And besides the technology from the Bethesda studios, Xbox already has a couple of incredibly talented developers out there, like for instance Turn 10, the developers of Forza Motorsport. They have an incredible engine in their hands that they have shared with Playground Games, maker of the Forza Horizon series, no doubt an incredible looking open world racer. And by the way, those are the guys who will make the Fable reboot. Now we don't know yet which engine they will use for that game. Rumors out there say it will be the Unreal Engine 5, but then there was this job listing that suggests that they use a proprietary engine. But whatever it will be, the point is Microsoft is not just relying on one or two engines, they are building proprietary engines like the Forza engine or the Slipspace engine that will power the upcoming Halo. They use well-established engines like the Unreal Engine, and now with the Bethesda acquisition they have even more tools in their hands. And this holistic approach, by not only having a diverse portfolio of games but also having an idea on how the development process and the resources and technology can be shared across all studios, including processes for game asset generation like the Megascans from Quixel that allow developers to build ultra-realistic textures and landscapes, or processes and tools for sharing assets of animations, physics and Megascans with tools like Houdini across all the Xbox Game Studios, is something that gives me goosebumps when I think about what we will see in the next couple of years when the fruits of these collaborations will start to show. So while the community is mostly talking about which games come to which platform, the Xbox Game Studios are really shaping up to be something that is hard to ignore in the gaming landscape. A huge diversity in their game portfolio, an incredible pool of technology and tools and resources, and a developer-friendly atmosphere within the corporation, cause Microsoft is not trying to plan out which studio is making which game. They want to leave that up to the studios and let them make the games they want. And Microsoft is not done building up their game studio organization. They have openly spoken about still looking for new acquisitions, and we all know that we will probably hear about new additions to the Xbox Studio portfolio over the course of this year. But I want to come to an end of this video. The future for the Xbox Game Studios has never been more exciting, and I think this was the biggest takeaway from the roundtable last week. Microsoft and Bethesda are incredibly excited to work together. We also have seen that this collaboration is not just on a game development level. Bethesda had their own marketing team, they had their own publishing department, they had their own iconic managers like Pete Hines, who did an amazing job by the way by moderating the event. So Microsoft gained more than a bunch of incredibly talented game developers. They have now the opportunity to learn in marketing strategies from each other, in publishing strategies and so on. And I have no doubt that this will result in an amazing generation over the next years where we gamers get a ton of amazing gaming experiences. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button as well as the notification bell, and consider sharing this out to other gamers. I would greatly appreciate it. And let me know in the comments below, are you excited for the future of the Xbox Game Studios? What are your thoughts on the Xbox Roundtable? And besides here on YouTube, you can also hit me up on Twitter, where I share a lot of opinions and gaming discussions. But for now, thank you very much for watching, I see you the next time, and game on!